Hello comrades, Commissar Bro here today with Stars in Shadow by Ashdar Games Incorporated. That's right. This game is currently in early access and available on Steam. I'm actually doing my video a little late. Normally I do them day one of release to give an initial impressions for people who may or may not be interested in the game. So, yeah, I'm a little late. But before we get started, actually taking a look at Stars in Shadow, I just want to go ahead and apologize if the sound is off in any way, or if it seems like my voice is kind of weak right now. I have been getting over some form of sickness. We're going to call it pneumonia and say it's that, because between fever, losing my voice, and coughing and hacking up loogies, it's just been wonderful, let me tell you, sir. But anyway, so yes, Stars in Shadow. Let's take a look at this little game here. It's a 4X space strategy game in the same vein as Masters of Orion 2, or even the new Galactic Civilizations 3, or anything like that, with a little bit less of a budget, but that doesn't really extinguish its charm, if you know what I mean. It's actually still despite not quite having those AAA budgets that those games have. Or, well, should we say AAA? Maybe just AA. Probably just AA. But anyway, it doesn't have as much money to spend on various features, but I don't think that stops it from still being an incredibly effective little 4X strategy game, that's for sure. So, we're gonna, act like we're gonna be making a brand new game. Sure, why not? Let's just go ahead and make a brand new game. Who are we kidding? So, currently the factions that are available to play as are the Ashdar Colonials. They're basically like dinosaur people. You've got the Grimac Empire, which are slimy, raiding, conniving slave masters who would like to have you for dinner. And they're like snake people. Yes, look at them. Look at it. He just looks like a snake. He looks like conniving. I like that ship, though. Sexy. You've got the Orthan Conference, which are kind of like bug dudes. Like centipedes is what they look like to me. You've got the Ural Cognate, which are like what they are. Four-armed fur people, I guess. Yeah, pretty close. Pretty close. And then you've got Humanity. Humanity is interesting in this game. Normally, if you play a 4X space strategy game with Humanity, you're the vanilla faction. You're just the basic faction. But in this particular universe, Earth, or humans anyway, don't actually have a homeworld anymore. Their homeworld has been destroyed. And they're actually one of the older races that have been around for a long time. But like I said, their empire has essentially been destroyed. And it explains it all right here in a little bit more detail than I'm doing. Or at least more point-blank-y. So, essentially, the way Humanity starts out is you start out as a traveling faction. You've got colony ships and transport ships ready to set up your empire. So, sort of like if you're familiar with Age of Empires 2, playing Nomads mode, you're pretty much that. You've got a couple of villagers to start your civilization, but that's about it. And then there are two other factions that are currently not playable yet. Again, this game is early access, so you've got the, forgive me if I pronounce any of these wrong, but the Fide Combine, and then you've got the Ashdar Imperials. So the vanilla race to play with, pretty much, is the Ashdar. They're pretty vanilla, as far as it would go. And except they do start with, they have, like, special escort carriers that no one else can build. That is one cool thing about this game that I really like as well, is a lot of games nowadays say, oh, there's differences between factions and races, but really there's not. There's just a couple of passive bonuses or whatever. In this particular game, there actually is a difference between the races, whether it's like the Orthan Conference, they got heavy artillery, the Grimac have distortion fields and Viper launchers. And then the Ashdar Colonials, they have industrious workers and escort carriers, stuff that other people can't build in the early games on. So that's pretty cool. I like that there's not a whole bunch of factions, but there is a difference between each faction, which is nice. So anyway, let's go ahead and click on the Ashdars and go to map settings. Alright, so what do we got? Again, I apologize if I sniff too much or I sound obviously congested. I am just getting over death. You know, nothing serious, right? But anyway, we're going to put it on easy. We're going to say the playfield size is, why not just put it on huge? And even then you can go a little bit higher. Right now the max is 99 star systems. Whether they plan on going any higher than that, I'm not too sure. You do have native races that you will see in the game. Generally a refugee faction of one of the elder factions, or slavers like the snake people we saw previously. You'll see them running around. So we're going to say huge, and we're going to place the Ashtar. We're going to put it on easy because we fucking suck. And we're going to click start. Let's do this. Generate new galaxy. Let's go in. Let's see what they got to show us. Alright, so we're getting hailed by Commander Thori. Hail, Praetor, I am Commander Thori, and I will be serving as your senior military assistant. We have completed the trials of our first warp-capable starships, and 3 vessels await your command: a scout, colony ship, and transport. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. So a lot of information that might be interesting if it's the first time you're playing, to kind of help you out, give you a little idea of what's going on. That's one thing I will say, too, is they've clearly put a lot of effort into trying to make the experience relatively immersive. When you go into a diplomatic screen, I don't think there's no one for me to be diplomatic with yet, so I can't really show you. But if you go to a diplomatic screen, it's kind of like it's an on-screen projection and so on and so forth. You know, it's a nice little touch. One thing you will notice about the game is there's this whole comic book aesthetic, kind of like a space comic book. It makes me think a lot of the original Sword of the Stars. If any of you are familiar with that, I'm a huge fan of that game. Like, I love that game. It's probably one of the best 4X space strategy games I've ever played. The first one, mind you. The second one was a mistake. But anyway, so you can imagine, for me, having this little comic book aesthetic, it's unique in a sense. Not many do this. Many more of them go for a very heavy-hitting graphics engines, rendering everything, trying to make it look all nice and cool and 3D. But, like, honestly, sometimes the comic book aesthetic is just nice. Because even, what is it, Xenonauts? Xenonauts kind of has that going on, too. And that's a pretty cool-looking game as well. Saying, like, look, this is basically what I'm saying. They go for a very strong immersion approach here. But anyway, let's go ahead and click our research. What are we going to research? We have a whole bunch of different things we could research right off the bat. It doesn't really work as a tree. It works as you choose things to research first, and then new technologies pop up pretty much. I mean, it is kind of a tree, but you can't really tell because it doesn't show you in a tree format. It's more like a list. You choose it from a list, and bam, more stuff pops in. As you can see, as it leads to close-in weapons, heavy drivers, so on and so forth. So yeah, it's pretty much tree. You know, I'm just being difficult, motherfucker. So here we go. Guiding systems. We're going to click that. We're going to go with that guy. All right, pretty cool. Construction complete at Rastaban 2. So let's click on Rastaban 2 and see what we need to do. And here we have a little garden world. This explains what it is. Garden worlds have a thick atmosphere and a climate ideal for life. The wide range of climates make it possible for many different races to profitably coexist, each developing the parts of the planet that they're best suited for. The max size of the planet is 13 million. I'm assuming these numbers are a bit smaller than what they could actually be, and it would probably be closer to like 6 billion people currently live here, maybe add a couple extra zeros. Here, over here, we can basically see where the population is growing. It shows us what the different populations are. In this particular instance, we've only got Taros that are currently a part of this planet. To produce things, we're going to click right here, and we're going to take a look, see what we got. Right now, we currently have factories, farms, labs, mines. We can colonize Rastaban 3, which is right over here. We could build a tank, or troop ships, transports, and a couple of different ships. Now, what does a transport do? Well, a transport is essentially a ship that provides you with trade, or it can be used to transport people from planet to planet, thus increasing your populations on your already colonized worlds. A colony ship obviously functions in the sense of colonizing planets and so on. Tanks are used to fight the land battles or planetary invasions, whether in defense or offense, to either protect your people or to conquer your enemies. Simple stuff. This is all pretty much stuff you're familiar with, I'm sure, if you've ever played a 4X space strategy game before. Now, you've also got, if you run out of things to build, like a farm, a lab, and a mine, and a factory, so on, you actually have automation choices, which double the world's production of research, of trade. You can put it on auto if you want. You can do city planning, which increases your population growth, but it also makes it to where they are using far more food. Obviously, you need food to feed your people. You're going to need money to buy things, to pay for stuff. You're going to need, basically, this is your production, essentially. You're going to need that. But as well as production, you're also going to need resources, which basically metal, in this case, which you get from mines. So it's all pretty clear. I imagine it's pretty straightforward in how that works. If you want more research, you build a lab. If you want more resources, you build a mine. If you want more food, you build a farm. If you want more production, you build a factory. And if you want more money, you build a transport ship, which can be used to trade between your planets. So simple stuff. You only have a couple of improvement slots on each planet. This being our home world only has 6. We've already got farms, we've already got factories, and we've already got mines. So we've got 3 more available slots to build whatever we want. Because it's early in the game, I'm going to say a farm is a great place to start. A farm provides +4 food at the beginning. So yeah, it's pretty simple stuff. If we want to queue up more things, we can right-click. So I'm going to right-click Colonize Rastaban 3, and now we have a queue going. I'm also going to queue up another light cruiser, because why not? Alright, we're going to click out of all this. And actually, what do we want to do? What do we want to look at now? Actually, I might have, there we go. We have a transport ship. Awesome. Beautiful. So basically, to trade with a transport ship, it's pretty simple. You click on the transport ship itself, and you have a button there called Start Trading. So pretty much the ship will automatically start trading between your planets for a couple of different turns. You can stop them at any time if you want, but for the sake of this, we're pretty much just going to let that transport keep going. So, we have another colony ship. Well, what do we want to do? Well, I think it's safe to say we should probably move the scout cruiser to another planet to start exploring for us. The other vibe this game gives me, by the way, is Space Empires 4, if you've ever played that game. Another very interesting game. So, now that this dude's basically moving along, and you've got the general basics of how this game works, you explore from planet to planet. You fight your battles and you expand your empire. This is the entirety of the map. This would be the 99 star systems if you were curious. We're going to send him out there. The other most interesting feature in this game is the combat system, which is really what sets it apart from other 4X space strategy games that you may or may not have played in the past. It's a little unique, and I don't think we're really going to get an opportunity to see it here. Oh, looks like we found some intelligent life in the Cheleb system. Oh, that's a big-ass planet. Oh, yes, it is. And they're probably not cool with us. Oh, no. This isn't... They're not... Ooh, look, there they are. See, that's what they are. I literally have no fucking idea what that is. But we can now send our colony ship over here to Cheleb, and we are going to colonize it with our people as well as the native population that's already there. And xenology is good. We'll go with xenology. Alright, so click one more time. And we're going to colonize this big mamma jamma. There we go. New colony established on Cheleb 2. So then the process would begin again. Again, you can automate it if you want, if you're not much of a fan. So these are called threshers. The threshers are an intelligent pre-technological species that live in small, scattered, hunter-gatherer communities in either shallow or deep oceans. With a body plan that combines structural elements of both crustaceans and mollusks, the threshers are equally at home in shallow or deep water, and are omnivorous, effective at both gathering plants and sessile animals from the seafloor, and at hunting free-swimming marine life. Good stuff. Because of their unfamiliar with technology, as colonists, they are usually limited to food production or cultural activities. So basically, they can't do more advanced stuff. And they're growing very fast. That means the majority of this planet is going to be threshers, while Taros will be the minority on the planet. But that's actually a good thing, because that means this can pretty much be our food planet. Where we can concentrate a lot of food production on. But we can also try to colonize other planets, which is going to take a really long fucking time. So we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to build a factory here, because why the fuck not? And that's going to take a long time as well. Sweet baby Jesus. I guess we're just going to have to wait for the populations to grow, and hopefully to move much faster. But yes, as I was previously saying, combat is actually interesting in this game. And I don't think I'm actually going to be able to get to see a fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to another previous save so that I can actually show you what combat looks like, at least to some degree. So yes, let's do that. Alright, so here we go. I'm currently playing as the humans in this particular playthrough. I've got 3 heavy cruisers, and we're going to fight against some military transports and heavy cruiser. Let's do it, bro. Alright, so combat is pretty simple. It's actually kind of a turn-based, as you can see here. You have a certain amount of movement points you're allotted. So we're going to move him up right there. That seems like a pretty good spot. Move there, monkey. Yes, go on. There you go. Good monkey. Alright, and we're going to move our other monkey here. We're going to move our other monkey a bit closer here. We can't really get any closer. We'll be all up in his grill. Alright, so are we capable of firing yet? Nope, out of range. Oh, no. But our heavy turbo lasers on this heavy cruiser most certainly can hit. So, they have another heavy cruiser, but they also have a military transport. I think our best topic, or decision, should be to go for this heavy cruiser and open fire on that mamma jamma. So here we go. Suck turds, son. Alright, we open fired on him. Minuscule amount of damage. This guy still can't fire, so we're going to end our turn. Ooh, coming within range. Ooh, brave, brave, brave. I didn't know if they might have run away. Oh, crap. That military transport is packing some heat. No bueno. So, we're going to fire. And that didn't do much. We're going to fire again with our other guy. There we go. Now we're doing... That is an incredibly angry heavy cruiser we're fighting there. My ships might actually not be able to take that on. That's terrifying. Fire! Continue firing! Oh, there we go. Now we're doing some damage to it. So as you can see here, you basically fire all of your weapons in tandem. Fire. Oh, that heavy cruiser, he's not going down, man. He's not going, he's like, I'm not done yet, you piece of shit. Alright, so we're going to end our turn again. Ooh! Oh, no! They got one of our heavy cruisers. Alright, so on a one-by-one basis, you can tell that they kind of have a slight advantage over our ships. But we're not giving up yet. No, we're not. And what is this military transport packing? Good Christ. That is not good for us, sir. Not good for us at all. Open fire. There we go. Now we're doing some work. Alright, well that's all we got. So we're going to end our turn. This transport's going to like turn on us and open fire a bit more. Do some serious damage as well. We're going to fire again. Suck some laser, you turd. Suck some more coil guns. Suck these lasers, yo. And suck these coil guns. That is a really, really tough ship. So this is basically the way combat works in this game. But then you've also got land combat. Let's finish him off. Finish him off. Zap. Zap. There we go. We've defeated the Orthan fleet. Just barely, mind you. Just barely. At the cost of one of our cruisers. Something we're not quite inclined to be giving up yet. But it is what it is. Anyway, this has been Commissar Bro taking a look at Stars and Shadow. It's a really cool game. I really like it. Actually, I've put a decent amount of time into it already. Oh my god, they have more ships coming into Nabek, the Nabek system, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is actually our capital. So that is no bueno, sir. No bueno at all. And our main fleet is too far away to help with that. I think we lost another fleet in a previous, before this actually occurred, so yeah. Now, one other thing I will mention that I really do like about this game as well is actually the soundtrack. It's a nice mix between kind of like chill and just allowing you to kind of focus in to do what you got to do to just like, you know, conquer the galaxy, bro. I dig it. I totally dig it. And normally for me, music is always kind of a big part of the game. So yeah, it's good. It's good that they've actually got some decent stuff going on here. I'm digging it. All in all, I really do suggest this game. It's not overly expensive. It's actually pretty cheap. Specifically, it's $25. So that's a nice low amount, if you ask me. And all in all, like I said, this game's really fun. I mean, I've put in probably about 10 hours now playing it. It's an interesting experience. It's not that it really goes too far to change the formula. It's more that it just does the formula right, which is what's good, if you ask me. That's the best part, is that it's doing the formula the way it should be done, in a way that doesn't feel overly complicated or difficult or hard. It doesn't try to overcomplicate the systems, which is a great thing, and it makes this particular game a total blast to play. But anyway, this has been Commissar Bro. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you want Stars in Shadow, you can get it right now on Steam for $25. That's right. And yeah, feel free to support the developers. It's still in early access, but the product that we have here is actually a pretty good product that's well on its way to being a fully released game. And anyway, it's been CB, and I'll see you all next time.